Hi everyone, welcome to the video. In this video, I will show you how we can start using Fetch in Bruno button, which is a feature of Bruno 2.0. So there are two prerequisites to use this feature. Use the latest Bruno 2.0 because this feature is introduced in a Bruno 2.0, which is a major release. Another prerequisite is that you need a collection which is a git initialize. So if you don't have collection which is not a git synchronize or not git initialize, so it will redirect you to the this document which will walk you through how you can start using Bruno, fetching Bruno button, and how you can do that. So there are different benefits of this feature. Is that imagine that you have a large collection to share with anyone. So mostly when you use any other API client, which will give the cloud-based services where you have to share that particular link with anyone, and then that particular person will request for the access, and that's how the complete workflow works. But imagine that everything is git synchronized, everything that every developer normally do on GitHub. That's the you just initialize the repo, you push on GitHub, and you can start sharing with it. So even it's one step forward. You just have to click on fetch in Bruno button, and it will automatically create the backstory. It will automatically create a GitHub sharing links, and you can start share your collections and start collaborating with your teams. And you can use that fetch in Bruno button on your API documentation which you are maintaining on the GitHub readme file in particular blog where you want to show how to create a REST API and how you can test that, and you want to add a sample collection there, so you can simply use fetch in Bruno button, and there are a lot of customizations that you can do. So I will walk you through one step by step how you can do that. So first thing first, you have to go to website, the Bruno website. So simply type use bruno.com. Go and download the latest release, which is a 2.0 or 2.0.1. From here, you can download. Make sure that you are using a Bruno 2.xx, not Bruno 1. Because this feature is a part of Bruno 2. Which is a major release. And after installing Bruno, which I already did, I created some videos how you can set up a Bruno on your Mac, how to set up a Bruno on your Windows machine, so you can follow that. So I have this collection called Bruno collection. I have some two folders, auth API and product APIs, with some basic API configurations. And this collection is not a git synchronized. Let's see how you can start using a fetch and Bruno feature. So just go to any collection, click on the context menu, which is the three dots from here. Click on the share button and go to embed. So as I mentioned, if you don't have a git initialize collection, it will redirect you to the fetch in Bruno button, fetch in Bruno document before, like this document, and you need a collection to git initialize. You have to initialize your collection. So there are two ways to initialize a collection in Bruno. You can simply go to terminal and you can say git init, which you normally do for the any GitHub project. And simple thing you can do is git UI. So you can simply do is that you can simply go and you can click on git initialize button on inside the Bruno UI. Instead of using a terminal way, you can do that. So click on initialize. So right now it's initialize. The second step we have to do is to add remotes. So as people who work with GitHub and know the simple GitHub workflow, you need to add origins to your project. So go to your profile. This is my GitHub profile. Create any profile, create any repository. Just I will simply create. Don't know. You can name it anything that you want, and just simply click on create repository. It will just simply github.com user and the repository name. So this is the origin that you have to copy. Just copy this link, or you can copy from here as well, HTTP and SSH keys. So you can simply go and say add a uh, it's a good way to follow the standard practice that origin that mostly GitHub use, origin and upstream. If you don't know, you can read the documentation for that. So simply add a origin and save it. So right now your origin is added. You can add a multiple origins as well. So if you go to remotes, you can add multiple origins as well, just like upstream and that stuff. So right now, just go there and push some changes from. So once you set up the remote, so the next thing you have to do is go to Git UI and see all the changes which you have. Commit them by clicking on the plus icon. Click on commit changes and say added in don't know collection changes and say commit. Once you click on commit, so right now you have something to commit. So go to push and you committed a message. You added some changes and you committed a message. So right now it's time to push. So simply click on the push button and it will push you all your repository to the Git. So now if you go to GitHub and if you just refresh the page, the collection is available on the GitHub. As you can see, the auth API I have two files, GitHub bearer request and product API and some basic request. So simply after doing this, you have to go back. You have to click on the context menu. You have to click on share because right now our collection is a Git initialize. We added a remote. We committed a changes that we make and we push. So right now it's a Git initialize and simply you can get two different links which is HTML and Markdown formatted supported. So there are two different format HTML and Markdown. So you can copy the HTML code as well and you can copy the Markdown code as well. I will copy Markdown and I will show you how you can use that Markdown links into a different scenario. So right now, imagine that you have this collection and you want to share this with a new developers which comes in your organization or which joins your team, and you want to share this collection with them, and you have a Bruno install. So you can simply go to README and you can add this collection link there. It will show you like this, fetch in Bruno. So it will look like this, and you can simply add this link to your readme file and you can just commit a message, say that hey, you added a collection. So you can simply share this fetch and Bruno link with them. You can add this to a blog. You can add this to your API documentation which you are maintaining for your API, HTML, Markdown, which is the standard format. So simply you can click on this link. It will ask you that fetch in Bruno. Click on that and open link. Location like this. So you have to store a location where you want to store location. I already have, so I will store here Bruno collection, and I can simply clone the whole repo, and yeah, the collection is available inside the. As you can see, I initialize the same collection through the Bruno and I push it to the GitHub, and I, as a second person in your team or with your colleague, you want to share that collection, so he will open, he will click on that link and he can able to open that collection with a single link. You don't need to push extra efforts or something. You just simply do that. So this is a feature which is a widely can customize, you can use. So there are a bunch of things that you can do around it. Read the documentation how you can do that and how can follow this whole thing, what are the customizations that you can do. So yeah, this is how you can use fetch and Bruno feature, and you can use in your team, your collaboration, managing API documentation stuff. Thanks for watching the video. See you in the next one.